Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. It is This and That Thursday. We got a bunch of different things, including 2 Christmas discussions. One is this Christmas All Year with Wendy Shepherd. We'll do that last, her quilt along. So it's Christmas All Year. Every month we're doing blocks from her book to create a nice adorable sampler, which I want to hang in my living room this winter for this Christmas. And the other is I want to do a little bit more discussion on the Christmas Jolly Bar and how that's set up so that you can follow along. It's really similar. You know, anything that's done from a book, they're all very similar, but I'll show you that one a little bit more. Okay, so first, our friend Samantha in Australia, she sent me a few pieces of Australian fabric. Here's a beautiful card. Look at this. And so she sent one piece with Australian flowers. Let's see, it's upside down, I think. There we go. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. And then another piece with some of the critters that are native to Australia. So we've got, is that right side up? How is that? There we go. There we go. So I've got some little critters. So sweet. Okay, first, and I figured out where to put all the state/country fabrics. So let me show you that clip. Here is what I came up with. I've got 2 of these picnic baskets with the red. This one has the state fabric stuff I showed you, and then there's the red basket. It's got 3 of the state fabric bags, but there's 3 more bags. This one didn't have any bags. Remember, it had all of your notes and it had the backings, and that's all that could fit in there because the other stuff is so full. This is a other storage. But then what I did was come around. So this is the storage, and I really don't see as much. And I found these mushroom bags that you guys sent me. So they look nicer sitting there than the plastic, the gingham, you know, because the gingham's all different colors. And so I put the biggest bag goes in there, and then I got 2 of the others I was managed to fit in here. And that's them. They're not together, but at least, yeah, at least it's stored. So that's okay. I mean, it's a lot, and I think once I actually when I get the layout done and I start the project, what I will end up doing is reducing down the amount I have to work with from each piece, because some of the pieces were quite generous and I won't need that much to work with. So I'll get a working subset, and that'll probably reduce 3 of those bags of the 6, something like that, so I can sort of, you know, have the amount for a working amount for the project. So I think that'll be really good. Plus I can get to the other then, but I don't have to in here I can't work and store that much fabric, you know, for a long-term project. So I'll figure that out, but at least for right now it has a place to live. Okay, the pairs. Today is I've made progress on the verticals. So this is a quilt from Joanna Figueroa's book, her fruit salad book. And in the book, the quilt has a little extra detail in it with the flowers that I'm not doing. I just use pieces of fabric. And so let me show you. There's 2 basic vertical patterns with spacers. So here's the one. There's 3 of these. And then the second one has, instead of the flowers, I just used a fabric, you know, so there's fabric at the top and fabric at the bottom. And so there we go. I've got that done. There is a third one, this third one here, and there's 2 more. So what I need to do while I'm filming this is I will take a break. I'll film here a little bit, take a break, and go sew those other 2 up so that I can remove that off the wall in order to show you the Christmas All Year, because I got to put that up. So first let's do the other things. That way I can do the Christmas All Year at the end after I've sewn the rest of those. Okay, I have got the little free spooky, look, Eddie the vampire and the little witch girl, the little ghost who is a witch. So I have this done. Now I did those few little purple, I could call them stars. They're just like, they're little crosses, but I just wanted to add a little bit of sparkle. Okay, so I had totally forgotten. I was talking about the weave being, the weave on here is much more open. I mean, you can see it's much more open weave than your fabric, regular quilting fabric. And I had totally forgotten about putting a interfacing behind them. I did that with my embroidery all the time, and I've done that with some of the cross stitch. I just wasn't thinking about it. And so many of you reminded me of that. And this is the one I generally have used and I own. And it is a very thin, and it's fusible. So one side has an adhesive and the other side is this sort of very soft mesh. And so what I need to do is take this and press it good. Then we're going to put this on the back, which I've already pre-cut the sheet. It's a big sheet. What does it come? It tells you somewhere on here. It's 20 inches by 1 yard is what comes in the packet. 20 inches by 1 yard. So then I'll press this, I'll put this on here, and then I'll put a piece of fabric on top of it, a piece of cotton, because I don't want to put the hot iron against this material, because it often will, it's a poly blend, and it could stick to it most likely will stick to your iron. So I never ever put an iron directly on this. I always put a piece of just fabric on top, any fabric, just a piece of fabric. It has to be big enough. And then that will be ready to cut. Then I'll be able to cut. So let me just do that. Let's go over to the iron. First, I'm just taking the iron and pressing all of this really flat. I've had it in my hands. I've been working with it. I'm pressing from the back, and also just looking for any threads that, was there like a black thread across? Like, here's some black threads. When I fuse this, when I take this and put it on here, I don't want like a black thread running across there, something like that. So I want to just get everything kind of to the side. Just kind of place it there. All right. Then I will put this fusible interfacing with the fusible down. This, you can feel it. That's rough on the back. That's down. And then just a piece of quilting fabric. So there is a piece of quilting fabric. And then I will steam. It adheres with steam. Okay. And then that is all there is to it. So when I take this off, this is now on there. You can see the edge out here, up here. So it is on there, and it gives it a little bit more stability for when I go to cut the shapes. Now remember, the Aliso irons, not the Tula Pink one, but the other ones, and the little ones and the mats are all 15% off at the Aliso website with my code. So use my code, which is in the link in the description box, if you're looking for an iron, for wool mats, for the awesome holder for these irons, all that stuff. So be sure you get in on that. Also, let me just show you this clip about ironing and tell me if you can relate. So it is seriously dangerous to iron clothing on your sewing area. Yeah, all these little threads got picked up and whatnot. Yeah, see, here they are. See, they're here. They're here. And when I put this t-shirt down that I'm wearing to get some of the wrinkles out, this is what ensued. Madness, just madness. It's like always happens, right? How can every thread that you own be like on that mat when you do your clothing? It's just, I don't know, Murphy's Law. Okay, on the calendar was also pencils, because I was hopeful that I would actually be cutting the pencils today or something like that, but I didn't do that yet. So that's still on my schedule, my master plan from Tuesday, remember, for this month, but pairs are first. Then I will cut the pencils. Okay, and it is video game day. Woohoo! I know a lot of you have made video game quilts. I know, like the Pac-Man quilts and some of the other video game quilts. So if you have done one, Dungeons and Dragons, right? I think that's a pretty common one. So share your video game quilts today over at Quilt Along with Pat Sloan at Facebook, at my Facebook group. Now, as some of you may realize, I am like a baby gamer. You know, a couple years ago, I decided to investigate. I've always been interested in them because I'm a kind of a geeky gal, and I thought I started playing Animal Crossing on my phone app first. And then I bought the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, and bought the Animal Crossing for my Switch. And then I just bought a couple of weeks ago Disney Dreamlight Valley for my Switch. And so I am just loving it. It is super fun. Is a lot more quests and logic and figuring things out, and there's a wonderful communities, just like quilt communities, there's gaming communities for each of the games. And so if you get stuck on a quest and you can't figure out the answer, just very much like if you get stuck in a pattern and you can't quite figure it out, you ask, and people will share what they've done and how you get around it or how you accomplish it. So it's super fun. So I hope that you share your video game quilts today. Let's do the Jolly Bar, Christmas Jolly Bar, a little bit more of a deep dive. So remember from yesterday, we were assigned 4 blocks to start. Whoops. So we've got these 2 here, and then the other 2 to make 4 blocks for this week. And it is a fast sew. They have it broken into 4 weeks for the blocks, then assemble them all, then if you piece the backing. And the logic is so that if you want to make this to use for Christmas, then you have enough time to, in October, get it quilted, that kind of a thing, and have it ready to use or to gift if you're going to give it as a gift. What I want to do is go onto my computer and just show you a little bit about the format, and then I'll show you the fabrics. The first thing that you have is the sheet with the supply list, the fabric requirements, and what's going on for the week. So here you can see all of the blocks for week 1, so you know the name of the quilt within the book that we're pulling the block from. And the same for each of the following weeks, the finish, and then what you use if you're going to piece the backing. And so that is the one sheet you want to print off. This week what you did was download the week 1 guide sheet. And so the guide sheet is telling you here. So we're going to take the star first. Here's the star block right here. And it is from the Sugar Plum Dreams quilt, page 74. Here's the unfinished size of your block. And you're going to make 1. You're going to make just 1 of these. And then down here, the cutting directions, because in the book, it's going to be written to cut multiples because you're doing more of these for the quilt. Here, how many you need from each piece. 1 from piece B, 4 from piece C, 4 from M, 4 from N. And this basic structure, the name of the quilt, the page, the size, how many you're going to make, and then the cutting directions, how many you need to make, however many it is, 1 in this case, 1 star, 1 tree, then the next page is 1 bauble, I like that, baubles, and 1 beautiful block. So it's a little bow on top of a package, and so this is all exactly the same. Page 80, page 2, the previous was, page 74, page 20. So this is the sheet that you will print week 1, Sugar Plum Dreams, Festive Forage, Tinsel and Baubles, and beautiful blocks. And so you want to have printed that yesterday or today if you're going to work on it today. And this is your guide sheet to go to the book and get the actual cutting sizes out of the book. I hope that clears it up for a few of you, because it can be a little confusing if you've never done this for the first time, because you need sort of the guide that tells you where to look in the book. All right, so I am using the Starberry collection, and this is the Jolly Bar free pattern that comes when you buy the Jolly Bar of Starberry. So I wanted to show you that. And my fabrics for this one are in the whites. And I just love that little shape, that little like Edelweiss or something. It's just so cute. Little stars. Let me just scroll you in so I don't have to pick each one up. Okay, dots. And I'm using a white background just to let it sparkle. Sort of a tone, these tone on tones. And the Jolly Bars, layer cakes, jelly rolls all have a certain number of fabrics in the pre-cuts. And so if the fabric line doesn't have that many, you get duplicates like this. And here, look. These are by Corey Yoder, and I just love, she does this kind of similar image on some of hers, and I really, really love it. Okay, so I didn't use as many of the lights because using the white background. So let me just skip to show you some of the darks. And of course, this takes 3 Jolly Bars, so you can either use a layer cake and a Jolly Bar. You could use 3 Jolly Bars, or you could just go and use yardage, like a fat quarter bundle or something like that. So whatever works for you. So of course, I got everything early, so we've already done some cutting. Look at that. Look at these sheep. Look at them. Look how stinking cute they are. And just to digress, this is my binding fabric with the sheep. Oh, so love it. And this red plaid, or buffalo plaid, it's like a buffalo gingham. So good, so good. And the taupes, kind of like everything again in taupe. So that is super cute, super cute. But there's some other things that you might like, other fabric lines. If you haven't started yet, or you're going to start, or you just want to look at some Christmas fabric, I got 2 others here. This one is called Merry Little Christmas. And there are quite a few Jolly Bars yet left, but there are not that many. There's no companion fabrics, but you might still have some reds or pinks that work. It's got these really pretty aquas. Look at that, really pretty aquas. And then it has a bunch of the prints on white with red and aqua, red and white trees. There's just no companions. So like if you wanted to use solids with it, then you look at that. See, but you could do this with getting enough Jolly Bars. There's Jolly Bars there. It's the stripe. Look at this. That scene again. That scene is what just got me. It's very retro. I love that retro feel. Then the trees on green. Whoops. Sorry about that. Mom fingers. Get that. There we go. And then so it's a repeat. You got a stripe. And then a lot of the prints white on green, and then this one, this is really pretty, but you can't get any yardage from it, at least not at the Fat Quarter Shop with my links. But you could still do this quilt with these. Look at that. And then just use solids to go with it, which would be, I think, fabulous, because you do need a few extra fabrics to go along. On gray, so gorgeous. Okay, so then it does a few more on the gray, you can see. Okay, but the other one I want to show you, you can get a layer cake. So you could grab some layer cake, and there is some extra yardage. There is yardage still to go with this. Sometimes these fabrics just go fast. They come and they just fly out. Hold on one second. This is Christmas in the Cabin. Here we go. Where is it? Here, Christmas in the Cabin. And again, it's this vintagey, this didn't, these weren't in when I got my fabric to do. So, look at the penguins. And there's some extras of, there's yardage to go along with this. And the coffee mugs. I'm going to show you a pattern that I absolutely must do with this, because it looks fast and it showcases the fabric. Candy canes. And so, candy canes. Let's look. The tree with the baubles. Yes, I love it. So this is a lot of repeats because the fabric doesn't have a lot of different prints in it, but they're all fun, super fun. Here is teal with teal stars, and then kind of this border stripe. That's just absolutely fantastic. I may have to order more of that one. Just fantastic to do a border. Look at the presents. The trees on peach. And I know they're not conventional Christmas colors, but I love them so much. The one that I'm doing with Starberry, I'm definitely using for a charity quilt. So, and well, nice and traditional. People will love it. Okay, there's some lights. Okay, oh, look at this. All right, and so the pattern I'm going to do, I think there's a couple more in here. There's a gingham, super cool gingham, and then here. Look at him. Just look at him. Look at him. All right. So there is plot twist, which is what I'm going to do with this, because it takes, for a crib size, it takes 32 10-inch squares, and that's 38 by 51, which is just super cute. Then I can add a border on it to make it a little bit bigger, and it would just take the one layer cake to do. If you want to do a lap quilt, you need 50, so you could either cut more from companion fabric or something like that. So anyway, okay, so what I'm going to do is I will take all these down and then put up Christmas all year, and we'll take a look at that. I went ahead and finished the rows. So here we go. There's 5 and they're in order. So I've got all of them done here, ready to go with that spacer, and I will be working on that diligently. That is #1 priority. So I'll put that back down there. Okay, we're on to Christmas all year. We're doing once a month, and you get assigned a number of blocks to do for the month to make this awesome sampler. There it is so far from my friend Wendy Shepherd. Now we did her quilt here as a quilt along, and then with this book she decided it'd be fun to do a sampler and do once a month. So this week, which is our second, I think the next week is the last block, and then final assembly. So we are on the trees. Here are the trees, which are actually a block from the one that we did as a quilt along, from this guy. So they're from that quilt. So look at them. So I've got you know, there's always that one, right? There's always that one that has to be different. Yeah, we had to do that. So I've got aquas and green trees. Now here is the layout that Wendy gave us, and so you can see on here that the trees will be here alternating along the top of that joy, and then there's a tree down here, and then a couple trees above. And so what do you think? Do you think that one should be the red one, or should I just I think I'm going to sprinkle it up here. I think I'm going to make it up in that section. So let me put these all up, and then I'll get the other camera. Wow, 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 look how exciting. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. So I like the little, like sort of like musical notes, like low, high, like along there, dancing along. And here is the, where did I put the red tree? Oh yeah, there it is. There's the red tree up there. Then a tree here, and here, and here, and here. So I'll be able to sew this, sew this, sew that. Then up here I can sew that whole row and put it on the joy and sew across that top section. And so next week we'll have blocks in between here. And there we go. Joy, joy, joy. Christmas all year. Christmas all year. I don't know why I hung it up there so high. Sorry about that. It's a backdrop. You don't get to see it all. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, so okay, my friend, you are going to make all kinds of things, and if it's a this and that Thursday for you, get something that we talked about on Tuesday to work on. And so there you go. So I love you. Mwah. Thanks for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.